up, otakus? How you guys doing? It's been a fun night. Um, as you know, I'm sure most of you probably tuned in to the CBCA award show, and shout out to Brian and Marcus for putting together another great year, um, chronicling this community, celebrating the community. Um, you know, a lot of the channels that were featured tonight we're big fans of, and there are some new channels that uh, we subbed up to tonight, and really looking forward to getting to know those channels better. Um, but yeah, it was just a it kind of reinforces why we this community is awesome. You know, um, I mean, when I was a collector back when I was younger, there wasn't really a community to um, collect books with and do all these, you know, like go to. Well, first of all, there wasn't really much of a culture around collecting back outside of like going to the local comic book shop, or going to 7-Eleven, or going to Albertsons or Safeway with the magazine rack where you'd get comics. Um, but yeah, I mean, for me, going to the comic book shop was fun as a kid, and getting all the books that were coming in. Um, but it was something I did by myself. It wasn't. There weren't like other kids that were into it like I was. Um, I mean, I'm sure there were. You just don't go to school going like talking about comic books and stuff. At least, when I was getting into it, which was right around the start. Like right around as I was, yeah, right around fourth, fifth grade, um, into middle school. It wasn't really something. I mean, my friends and we were into a lot of different things. Fourth grade, I was just into riding bikes, playing video games, and um, things like that. I mean, it wasn't, hey, what's up, Miss So? Uh, Curious to get your thoughts on the CBCA awards if you caught it. We're kind of talking about that right now. Um, but yeah, it was just really nice to kind of tune in and see who won. But Namin Young and I were finalists, so it was just an honor to be nominated and part of the community. And Young and I think we're gonna do more stuff, but we gotta kind of just dedicate some time to it and plan around it. So put some maybe put some more thought into our content. I know for me, it's not like I put a lot of time into these videos, and I'm sure it comes across that way. I just jump on and just just talk about what's going on in my collection. What you know, um, I think just wondering how I. There we go. I guess we could. I'm hoping people can see that. I guess people are just following. I guess people can just see the chat as they're coming in. Um, Okay, that's fine. I think CBCA is one of these things that we're still trying to promote, right? It's really sort of a community led, community involved um, event for the most part. But we're hoping, like, it gets more. I think we're a tight knit community to begin with, right? Um, if you're following comics and you're doing things on social media, it's kind of just like a network of people who follow each other and are friends with each other. Um, but what's really cool about the CBCA is and what I hope is that it kind of gets more buy-in from the industry and not just people on YouTube but kind of more broader, just have a broader reach. And I think they're really succeeding at that. I just feel like this year's event was much better and looks like they had way more participation than last year's event. So hopefully we get to see um, this thing get more and more people involved and more channels featured. But for the most part, again, it was a great event. I think, again, Brian and Marcus, great job, guys. Um, it was a good show. It was a good show. All right, so we're getting toward the end of the year, and as you know, around the end of the month, usually around Christmas or like New Year's Eve or so, I put together my top pickups of 2023. Um, and this year, I think it'll be a fairly large list because we picked up a lot of books. So I think we could probably go 50 books, top 50 of 2023. Um, and, you know, what prevents us from 2024 being a big stellar year for comic books is just space. Um, I don't have this. I'm actually, my overflow box is now full as well. So I'm really just like micromanaging like stuff I can put in like in these crevices. Like everything's full. Like, I have like cases like this with books as well. It's just like, it's just getting, I just wish I had maybe some bandwidth for like a long box or maybe like two or three short boxes. That would be nice. But for the most part right now, I kind of want to keep my collection, again, limited to the filing cabinet that I have. All right. So, yeah, it's interesting that the Black Friday sales, the holiday sales, I kind of, I didn't have, I mean, I have some money, um, but I didn't have, like, I wasn't focused on getting stuff for Black Friday. But a lot of the local shops here were having great deals. I know Ethan was having like 20-cent comics. He was having a 20-cent comic sale over Black Friday and half off everything off modern books, and um, anyway, everything was discounted in the store pretty much. So I kind of sent that social media, promotion to Naman. Like we should have gone during Black Friday. Would have definitely been um, cool to pick up so many books. But again, we pretty much ransacked this, Destiny City Comics. So I don't know, unless Ethan added a bunch of $1 books, I don't think there would have been much to pick through. I think that's part of the why maybe it was such a big sale, Black Friday sale, because I think he just wanted to um, clear out his inventory. There's probably not much new stuff there. I did reserve a book um, this past week, and I'll be going to pick that book up from Destiny City. I'm going down to Tacoma um, after Christmas, so I'll be picking up later this month. It's not a big book. I'm picking it up for $4, but it is definitely one of my um, favorite uh, favorite Copper Age Daredevil books, and so I will give. That's all I'll say. But once I get the book, and we'll show it off. I'm gonna try to pick up some more stuff while I'm down there as well. So it's not just going down there for one book. But what is disappointing is generally on days where I go down, I usually stop in at Jeff's Ancient Comics, but he's really gone. I thought he was BSing about packing up and leaving for Thailand and all that, but more power to him. I think it's not easy to be kind of chained to your business 24/7, not have the opportunity to go out and you know, enjoy just a vacation or things like that. So kudos to Jeff for getting out, and hope he stays safe. Yeah, I'm sure he's I'm sure he's doing just fine in Thailand. Thailand is you know, it's fun, good food, love the beaches there. Um, so much to see and do. Uh, and they got some amazing beaches, and like sea life, things you can do. Um, all right, so getting back to kind of what I get what this video is about. Like I said, I do top pickups for the year at the end of the year. But I picked up a lot this year. So what this video is like, I know I'm gonna have show off the top books in my collection, but that's not to say um, there aren't like sentimental favorites and things I know that won't make that list, but are also significant in terms of pickups to me. Things that I just like look at and be like, wow, that's really cool. I picked that up. And so I just kind of wanted to put that list out there. So these are sort of the runner ups. These aren't necessarily going to be on that year end list, but I did want to be able to feature what we picked up in the context of not major, but major to me, and still significant to me. So, and it's completely random, so there's no real rhyme or reason to this order. I just picked out a bunch of books. and we're gonna roll with it. So wouldn't that be great to just retire? Actually, my wife and we talked about this, and my wife and I are not going to stay here in the US. And it's not because we don't love the US. I love America, but I just realized it's not the most ideal place for you to age. And part of it is our healthcare system. Another part of it is just, I think, there's a sort of a lack of a system that um, really wants to see older people thrive and really help them be, because at some point we need assistance, right? But that assistance is looked upon as more of a burden than something worthwhile. And that's why I think my wife and we just would rather live in Japan, because we know, getting that assistance won't feel like a burden, because of the culture, the East Asian culture. Um, and I think it's also just cheaper to live out there. So um, we kind of made that decision. But again, that's going to be much, much later, um, when we both think like, okay, now is the time to go back and retire and just take it slower. Kind of, again, I won't be able to do comic book stuff out there, unfortunately. But I'll always have an opportunity to get into manga and other stuff out there. So we'll have to see what, hopefully my son values the collection. Once he inherits it, he'll take care of it, but we'll have to see. He's probably going to be into stuff that's not anything related to what his old man collects or likes. All right, so we're going to go through this list, and just a bunch of random books, but all of so for those of you follow me, I really, uh, the focal point of my collection is really the era that I collected in. So we're talking about the 1984 to 1997. It's about a 13-year span. Now, I didn't live in one of those households that had a comic book subscription, or went out and got comic books each month. For me, it was kind of like the occasional weekend excursion to the LCS. I might have like a couple of bucks in my pocket. We pick up maybe 2-3 books, and that was kind of how like books came into the collection. So it was very inconsistent, and it was really driven by like just getting stuff that that looked interesting, right? It's like only later, like when I was older, did I start looking at the previews and have a better understanding of what's coming out week to week. But early on, it was just kind of like, let's try reading this, let's try reading that, and we just pick stuff up that we thought would be interesting. And fortunately for me, like initially we were into like Spider-Man, um, Secret Wars, and then it expanded to X-Men. Um, we were into Superman always, but um, Batman also came along, and we got into Batman. So that was kind of where like the focus was, and then Image came along, and we fell deep into Image. And we were picking up a lot of Image books at that time. Um, and then kind of fell out of the hobby once I just started working and stuff. So and now that I've gotten back in, I find that's kind of where my sweet spot is. It's a lot of the Copper Age, a lot of the 90s books, and the older books are things like older Superman books, um, Silver Age Superman, Silver Age Lois Lane. I actually want to collect more of that. Um, it's just harder to pick up Silver Age books, right? I feel the same way. So, like, when I was collecting books, I just kind of like, especially in the Image age, during the Image stuff, I was just picking up uh, just a random selection of stuff, and pretty much it was just kind of like they had this thing in Wizard where they had like a top 10 like hot books list. I was just getting all the stuff on the hot 10 hot books list, which in hindsight is a list that's just like just trying to sell books that are coming out. Right? It wasn't. I don't know. It's I think better to have a good sense of what you like to read and all that. But for me, I was just collecting what other collectors were like had on their list and stuff. So Platinum Age stuff. Now that is an interesting. I didn't realize there was a Platinum Age. Um, I guess is that the age that they're calling the 90s or things post 90s? That is an interesting. Oh, okay, interesting. So you're saying it was before the Golden Age. That makes sense. So like early like 1920s, I guess. Like 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 newspaper talk comics, right? Yeah, the earliest forms of comics. That's interesting. Um, yeah, I mean that's probably uh, that's like museum stuff, right? It's kind of like priceless. Um, but I'm sure you could probably if you get lucky, like at a antique, or if you just maybe fortunate enough. Actually, the thing is like the people passing away these days are actually they grew up in like the 50s, right? So for them to hang on to like stuff like comics and stuff from the 20s wouldn't it'd have to be like a collector, right? If you're going like an estate sale or something. Um, but that's interesting. What's up? What's up, Joe? All right, so I've been meaning to just get to the books, but I keep rambling. So we're gonna start. I love this 25th anniversary uh, border, and this was basically a celebration at Marvel. And what they did was every title being published by Marvel was given this border just to mark the event. And it was a 25th anniversary from the first issue of Fantastic Four. So Marvel was a lot older, but technically the Marvel universe or the Marvel timeline of events um, that introduce, pretty much this gamut of characters. That's what this. border was commemorating. And I just remember, like, I remember these books, you know. I actually had a few of them. I had the X Factor one, I had the X-Men one, I believe I had the Spider-Man, ASM Spider-Man one. And I also think I had the Transformers and the G.I. Joe one as well. But now that I've gotten back into collecting, this is like absolutely something I wanted to like try to get as many of. There's quite a lot of books to get, and there's some ones that are a lot, I think, in terms of finding are a little bit more difficult, like the Ewoks. I think there's a Heathcliff and like Muppet Babies like edition as well. Those are probably some of the harder because they're lower print. But I ran into this copy at SummerCon. I think we picked this up for like $1 or so. Yeah, at SummerCon, and beautiful John Buscema cover first of all, and Conan newsstand. So that's cool. You know, this will never make, I think, my top pickup or lists or anything like that. But it's significant because, again, anything we can add into finishing this run of 25th anniversary covers is just a long-term goal that we have. And especially if they're like bigger books like Conan, you know, it's like definitely feels like a big pickup for me. So that's kind of like what this entire showcase is gonna feel like. It's just gonna be books like this that, you know, they're not big books to everyone else, but they're really at the heart of what we love to collect and what we want to collect more of. So moving on, we've got similarly, now this is a key book, so I probably, you know, I mean, it could be reserved for one of our top pickups. This is the first appearance of Julia Carpenter, the Spider-Woman. I believe it's the first cover as well. That's her, right? They're right on the cover. And it's the first battle between She-Hulk and Titania. I just like it for the Doc Ock versus Wolverine battle cover right there. But yeah, this is a Bob Layton cover, key issue. I just love this Secret Wars, and we were able to pick this up for $2, $2, $2, and $1. Right? This is either $2 or $1. Now they, you know, none of them are in really like near mint condition. These are on the VF range, but this is definitely similar to the Conan. Anytime we pick up a book like this in the run, again, for a relatively lower price, obviously we're not going to pick up number 8 or even number 1 in this series for $2 or less. But anytime we can pick up something from the series for $2 in that area, it it feels like an Un Young book. It feels like that patience paid off. Because like I could go and pick up these books for like $5, right? Um, but that's not kind of what we want to pay. We want to be patient and get it somewhere. Again, it doesn't have to be the best condition, but we just want to get it um, for less. And let me tell you, like again, for $2, all these cookies just feel really good. So I think we have what for? I want to say we have like 5, 6, 7. We have like 7 of the 12 so far in the collection. So that means we have 5 more to pick up. Um, so I feel like we're going to get there at some point. The next book, I kind of, for me, I always want the original book. But then you realize, like, okay, well, there's a lot of books out there. There's also a lot of books that you want but can't afford. And I mean, even like a $200 book. If you get a $200 book, um, is even challenging. So you have to, at some point, either give up on the book or just be content with a reprint. And let me tell you, some of these, like, I think these are all sort of Copper Age reprints. And again, this is where like you can integrate because reprints, there's like reprints in every decade. Every decade or so, you'll see, especially these days. These days, they're just reprinting everything, right, with like a foil cover or whatever, which is nice to see. Um, but even those, the modern books they're coming out with now, they're like, I just picked up a McFarlane reprint for like $7, and as nice as it is, that's $7 is a lot of money, right? Whereas if it was like a Copper Age reprint sitting in an LCS somewhere, you have the potential of getting that for like $1.50. So yeah, so this would qualify as a reprint because um, it's the same comic book, but it's kind of in like a different format, right? Whereas a facsimile is going to be a copy. Like you're going to have like pretty much the exact same cover, maybe even the 12 cent, right? You'll have the 12 cent mark. You'll have pretty much all the ads and stuff from the inside as well. So it's like trying to be as a, a literal copy of the original um, as possible. Now there are always going to be some minor like differences, but like this is a reprint in the sense that a lot of this part here has been changed, right? Amazing Adventures, the original X. So it's like, um, and it's got the 40 cents, got a different, right? It's got a different logo here. Um, but that's what I love about the Copper Age again is like you had all these Copper Age reprints that came out about reprinting stuff from the Bronze and Silver Age, and this is a great example of something I would don't mind collecting more of for this great original, um, like Ditko cover. It's a beautiful Dick. Sorry, not Dick cover. A beautiful Kirby cover. Um, I'm not like the biggest fan of Kirby, but when I see like comic art like this, um, you just like see his um, his talent and genius there really on display. Um, so yeah, this was I think a $3 pickup, not the best shape, or maybe it was a $2 pickup. It was like $2-3. Um, I probably could have gotten this cheaper somewhere at some point, but I got it at Emerald City Comic Con. Thought $2-3 for this was fair, so we picked it up. And I love the artwork. Um, it is a very big key issue. Uh, so I don't mind now targeting and picking up uh, reprints as long as it's like again in that it's it's an acceptable um, it's acceptable to have it part of the collection, you know. So yeah, like I'm not gonna get this original book. I do want it, but maybe someday I'll be fortunate to get it at a relatively low price. But it's still gonna be one of those like things that we just have to really, unless a lot of money comes in or something, which is always a possibility. Could I don't know, just get a raise at work or something, or hit the lotto, get the lotto jackpot. So along those lines, actually, this is not a reprint or anything, but I do want to collect more of these Spidey Electric Company series, because it's the Spidey Super Stories. Because first off, John Romita Sr. did a lot of the artwork for this run, and you can see that like it's got a great front cover, but also on the back you get all this great artwork. So it's not like ad heavy. This was really targeted for kids, and again, great stuff. So I am like this is when we talk about like focusing the collection, or focusing what we want to pick up, is a great example of what we make space for. If we were to pick up more Spidey Super Story books, we make space for it, move other stuff out. So really happy with this pickup. Now this one's kind of beat up, but I think we picked this up for $1 as well. It's got like a chip in the corner of the back. Oh, not a chip. Is that a chip? No, it's not a chip. It's decent. It's just dirty. Needs a clean and a press. So really cool stuff. All right. This next book was a complete cover buy, and these things happen to me every now and then. I'll go into like a comic shop, not looking to pick up, what's just come out, but sometimes you just look at it and say, you know what, let's get it. Um, you get just overtaken by the urge to add it, and that was this just incredible Doom cover by Alex Ross. Now, this Ross, there's a lot of covers. It's a timeless. They feature villains. They feature all the heroes as well. He's got like literally a 2-set, like huge um, painting that he did of all the villains and the heroes, and then they kind of cut everybody and give them sort of a um, nice profile shot there. Uh, and so I was like, I'm not gonna pick up. That's something I'm not gonna even try to collect all of. Um, and so I'm gonna just pick the ones that I think are the coolest. And I think right now, if I were to pick up more of these kind of timeless variants, I want to get the Electra. I want to get the um, Venom, the Spider-Man, the Wolverine, and who else? I don't think he did a Psylocke. If there's a Psylocke, I would definitely get that. But to my knowledge, there's no Psylocke. And yeah, uh, again, Daredevil would be another one I wouldn't mind getting. Who else? Maybe the Silver Surfer. I think he looks pretty dope. A Doc Ock, but I the Doc Ock cover isn't that great by Alex. I don't know. I just feel like he didn't. It just wasn't a great cover the way they had Doc Ock's. But I mean, I'll probably want to pick that up as well at some point. Um, just talking about it makes me want to pick up more. But again, bandwidth. That's the key. Bandwidth. I mean, I'm pretty much at my bandwidth right now, so don't know how much more we can do. Now, I do want to. So as you know, I have this overflow box, and I want to give a shout out to 22 Comics. Love his channel. I think he was also nominated for an award tonight. He recently hit me up to do a trade, and we got to texting last night, and we pounded a deal. I think he's gonna get books he wants, and I'm gonna get books I want. And yeah, it worked out. I'm getting a bunch of Jim Lee Peach Momoko books. He's getting a bunch of key books. Some really key first appearances, and so I think we're both happy. And again, I sent him, I think, 11 books, I want to say. So got 11 books out of the collection. Yay for me. But I have, I think, 7 books coming back. So I'm not, 11 books for one book would have been the ideal swap out. But again, I am getting 7 Peach Momoko and Jim Lee books. So I'm not gonna complain, but there's more work to be done. I need to actually just move a lot of stuff out, and again have that ratio be higher to lower, just to make space. But again, we want to be deliberate about that. It's not like we're just going to dump books and call it a day. I want to give people what they want so that I can get what I want. And that's exactly how this trade went down. I just sent out the books this morning. I'm assuming 22 was kind of busy today. I didn't hear back from him, but I'm assuming he's going to send the books. So when we get the books, we'll show them off. All right. This was a recent pickup from from the Grit City Comic-Con comics show. And again, for $1, just really Daredevil 197. Beautiful Bill Sienkiewicz cover. Now, I think when I covered this in the hall, I wasn't sure who did the cover, but yeah, Sienkiewicz did the cover. Again, I think the Asian language stuff, he made a noble effort, but he's got to practice his kanji. um, Not too bad. I mean, he obviously referenced it, so it's not that bad. It's just there's a technique to it that he doesn't. There are rules and techniques to it that obviously someone who's never written or learned that technique wouldn't know. All right, so some more Sienkiewicz. This is another beautiful cover. Got this for $1. It's crazy, right? Got slave Leia there. You got Lando, and then you got Luke, one-handed Luke. Sienkiewicz, goodness. What's up, Agu? So I want to give a shout out to Agu. I know my last haul video totally glossed over the fact that I ran into him at Half Price Books. But it was completely random because, you know, he doesn't make his way out this way all that often. And I don't go to have, I mean, I'm had to Half Price Books a good deal, but the fact that we ran into each other on the same day, first of all, we planned to meet up at Grid City. We hung out there, and then almost 2 weeks later, a week or two later, we just run into each other at Half Price Books in Redmond. What'd you pick up that day? Did you pick up those Batmans? Because I didn't see those Batmans there. I assume you picked them up. Yeah, that was fun. Great to catch up with you, dude. And we gotta hit up. We gotta do some serious, like maybe go to Mill Geek or somewhere. Just go somewhere and hunt. I know. I think December coming up. There's gonna be the Twin Pines comic show. And not that they're like dollar bins or stuff there, but actually some of the sellers usually sell their garbage. It's not the best show to pick up books. So I want to kind of avoid that. I mean, but the thing is, they sometimes have good deals. I don't want to, but oftentimes they're just sellers like selling a bunch of stuff that isn't the best condition, and it's not even a good price. So maybe we'll. Anyway, we gotta hit up like Half Price Books or something, and try to get some bargains and deals. I was thinking maybe Mill Geek. Mill Geek's still got the 50-cent bins. Man, I miss Jeff now. I really miss Jeff. That was a good LCS. I miss that. All right, we got this was $1 pickup as well from Grid City. Got Wolverine number 18. John Byrne goodness there. This is we were very fortunate this year to pick up a lot of Wolverine books for 50 cents, or around $1 to $2, case in point. So that's something we will continue to do next year into 2024. Again, picking up these sort of like the Copper Age runs that I'm trying to finish, like 25th anniversary covers, Wolverine. Actually, Wolverine's not Copper Age. It's like borderline 90s / Copper Age, I guess. But you get my gist. I'm trying to pick up at least the first 50 in the Wolverine run. Um, we're nowhere close, but we're going to try. And again, when you pick up Byrne, we also collect Byrne's. When you pick up Byrne's contribution to the run, it always feels good for $1. For $1, right? It's just ridiculous. This one was just a complete cover buy, and the cover I had no idea existed, but now that I have it, I just love it. I absolutely love it. And that's a Doc Ock cover by Todd McFarlane. Really nice cover, actually. Spider-Man getting subdued by the tentacles on rooftop, and you got, I can't tell if Doc Ock is he kind of looks just like a pro wrestler, I guess. I don't know. I can't really tell if he's in shape or if he's out of shape. Just a big guy, I guess. The other thing that we were really excited about picking up this year that I haven't really focused on outside of when I actually picked it up, this was at Ethan's on that day we went to SummerCon, right? So the SummerCon haul video, I picked up a lot of books in that SummerCon haul video, and if you want to see the bulk of what we picked up this summer, go to that SummerCon haul video, because I probably picked up a good short box with the comics at that time. But one of the things we did was we picked up the Byrne Superman run. We completed it, and so rather than show everything in that run, I picked out one of my favorite covers here. Kick Me Hard. Just, oh man, that's just gold right there. That's comic book gold right there. So yeah, I mean, that just felt really good. And it was all newsstands, all newsstand copies of Superman 1 through 20, the Byrne run, and really my era of Superman books. We were so into the Byrne run when it came out. I mean, it's really, I know there were probably, I probably read Superman books prior to the Byrne run. I just don't recall them, and if so, they were when I was very young. Like I was really young, didn't know what comic books were, but I knew I liked Superman. I probably just looked through the comics of Superman while I was, off. That you have like a spinner rack and you go and you look at comics and stuff. And I remember doing that for a lot of books. So it's not like my exposure to Superman comics was Byrne, but when we started getting into it as a hobby and picking up books and having a collection, the Byrne Superman was my gold standard for Superman comics at the time. And he, again, Byrne did a classic rendition of Superman. I still think it's like one of the top. Obviously, I think Jim Lee now kind of owns the DC brand in terms of the characters and the characterizations. But before Jim Lee, it was for. And again, it's a really close toss up. I think make the argument either way, both of them. The Half Price at Crossroads. Did you go there as well? What did they have there? Kind of reading my comments late. I haven't been to Half Price at Crossroads yet. I can, but I was there. I think maybe 2 weeks ago. There wasn't anything. I mean, they had a couple books. Like again, these days, you know, me in the past would have picked up those books, but the me now, like there's like Alex Ross, Batman Keys, that I left at Half Price Books. But what's the other book we left there? There was a $20. It was the first Ms. Marvel #1, volume 2 from it's like a Frank Cho cover. I was like, should I get this? It's a $20 book. Could have got it for $2. Good condition. Again, key issue. An artist we like, Frank Cho. But I was like, this is a book where if I get it, it's just going to sit in my collection waiting for me to trade for it or sell it or do something like that. So, yeah, I just didn't pick it up. But, yeah, I'm going to try to resist the urge to pick those kinds of books up. I mean, it's just borderline. That Miss Marvel book is just borderline of like, I'm sure we could trade it or sell it at some point, but didn't pick it up. This book was a no-brainer when I saw it. Yeah, it's like it's growing on me more and more. Like it's a book. When I picked it up, I was like, great, this is a great book to have. And then that's getting just reinforced more and more, that feeling like, oh, this is a good pickup. And that is Beavis and Butthead #1, newsstand. Just love. It's funny. It's just a funny book. And I think people in this day and age, I think they, just a movie, Beavis and Butthead movies that have come out more recently. But I don't think, I'm sorry, I probably, if I'm not going out to watch the Beavis and Butthead movie, I don't think not many people are, right? I'm pretty much that demographic that would go and watch the Beavis and Butthead. What is it? The revival. So yeah, if I didn't watch it, it probably didn't do well at the box office, which is unfortunate because I don't know. Obviously, that kind of humor probably is funny to like fourth graders and people from a certain age. I don't know, maybe kids are more sophisticated now, but for whatever reasons, I think it's just one of those generational things that, was funny at the time, but, hasn't aged well maybe, or kids these days could care less. So, but anyway, Beavis and Butthead, that's a PC book. It's going to be a PC book. Unless, again, for the right Jim Lee or Peach Momoko book, it could see its departure. These are books that I probably shouldn't have picked up, but after picking them up, I feel really good about them. because, first off, Lemuel Francis Yu is an incredible artist. Um, and, here's a good example of what I'm talking about. You got a Venomized Wolverine there. This was a cover by, and man, that is just not going anywhere for now. And along the same lines, you got this beautiful cover. Look, trim the hand there. Man, it's just a dope image. And yeah, you got like Electra looking menacing and sexy at the same time. That's just, I guess those are where my comic book tastes lie. If you are sexy and also look like you're about to like kill me, but look sexy as well. I think that's kind of like, it's a weird psychology. Sure, I'm not the only one that feels that way. Like, if I'm gonna go out, why not go out at the hands of a sexy lady? This was a trade from Norenrad. Shout out to Norenrad, man. And again, it was a big selection of books. I probably shouldn't have gotten so many books from him back, because it was kind of defeated the purpose of what I wanted. I wanted to actually do, like, I'll give you more for less in terms of quantity, not in terms of value. That's subjective, but he sent a bunch of books to me, and I sent actually fewer books to him. But everything I got from him was something I really wanted. And this is case in point. We got Transformers #5. This is just a great Shockwave cover. The artist's name is escaping me. What's this guy's name? Paul Kupperberg. But anyway, just a beautiful cover. And we love Transformers. We love our Transformers. Never grew out of them. This was a book I picked up at Half Price Books for Have a Cover. Beautiful Psylocke cover. Probably this is Psylocke, okay? She has Sairoku, which is sort of like this past, not necessarily canon or the current timeline, but like a version of Psylocke from the past, if that makes any sense. But she has a beautiful cover of that. But this is actually like our timeline Psylocke. So in terms of that, this is definitely my favorite Psylocke cover by Peach. But if we're talking about like Sairoku, the Japanese version of the character, or the version of the character from the historical period in Japan, that Sairoku is on there's a design variant that she put out. That book is my favorite of any Sairoku image. Is that getting too explainy? All right. This is another one we picked up. Miles Morales Spider-Man, and another just incredible cover. I will say with the Spider-Man covers though, what I'm noticing is she does a lot of this spider and the webbing, and it's what makes these Spider-Man covers great, but it's also becoming a little bit it's becoming too much of a motif. And I don't know, I think like if it continues to like make like the spiders and all that stuff, the webbing, just continue to be part of her Spider-Man repertoire, it, it's just gonna get. It's already getting old. I mean, I love this book, but if I continue to see it on Spider-Man books, it's just not gonna feel like she's putting a lot of thought or effort into it, or at least change up the spiders or the webbing, like maybe design different spiders or um, I don't know what the answer would be, but it just um, I love Peach. I love this art. I just want to see like different takes on it. Right? It doesn't always have to be the same kind of take on Spider-Man. All right, moving right along. This was a 50-cent pickup. Still can't believe I got this one for 50 cents, and that's Marvel versus DC, the showdown. This is actually the issue where they all fight, right? This is the battle issue. So the first battle is between um, all these great characters from the 90s. 90s is going to give you all the good stuff. I'm telling you, man. 90s, all the good stuff came out of the 90s, the good ideas. This is not one of them, but it came out in 1985, and that is uh, Crisis on Infinite Earths. I am not going to actually cover these because a lot of these I did not pick up this year. Some of these I picked up this year, but most of them I picked up before. So I just want to let you know that that's kind of like, again, when we bring in a book from either Secret Wars and we're able to check off something from Secret Wars or check off something from Crisis on Infinite Earths, it's a win. Case in point, this is a dollar reprint. The only difference being, so it's a reprint of issue 1. The only difference is you get this great Alex Ross art. Beautiful Alex Ross art. So this would be a nice book to get signed by Alex Ross. Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of great Alex Ross books you could get signed, right? But for me, this would be that Doctor Doom cover would be nice to sign, but I'd actually rather have this signed in my collection than that Doctor Doom. But that's a road we'll cross when and if Alex Ross ever comes to Emerald City. All right, yeah, Nornred is the man. Everybody I've traded with, we've done a lot of trades in recent months. But everybody I've traded with, whether it's people local in my community or people through the community, online community, have been great. There's just something about, I think, trades. You kind of like, if they're not necessarily books that you want, but you're trying to get books you want, it's kind of like this synergy where like, yeah, you could here take all these books, and then like, hey, yeah, take all these books, and you just have this nice exchange of like getting what you want for giving up what you don't want. Um, and I like that. I like that this idea of like, hey, I've got these books. I do like these books, but I'm willing to give them to you for books that I want more. I think that's there's a little bit of that in every collector, right? We all have books that we wouldn't mind selling or giving away for books that we really want. And when those things align, when things you don't want align with somebody who wants it, and vice versa, things they don't want, you want, when that aligns nicely, it's just a win-win, right? And who doesn't love win-wins, right? We all love win-wins. So um, I'm gonna probably be putting up, but my inventory here has changed up a little bit. So I'm gonna be putting up another here's what's in our box. Let's get a deal done. But for the most part, outside of again like maybe 10, 12 books, uh, go and watch my um, trade box video. Excuse me. Um, the trade box video has a lot of um, it just features what's there available. So again, if you see something you like, let me know. I'll let you know if I still have it or not. And again, all I'm asking in return for whatever book, I'll give you 2 books from this box for 1 Jim Lee or 1 Peach Momoko. It's kind of like how I work. Um, now, it's not just going to be for any Jim Lee or any Peach Momoko book. I'd prefer to get something I don't have in the collection, and that's what we were able to do with 22 Comics um, last night. I have 1 book out of his books already, which I don't mind getting another copy of, to be honest. But everything else is. Do I have any trades, like trade paperbacks? Unfortunately, I do not have many trade paperbacks that I want to get rid of. Yeah, I don't really collect trade paper. I do have some trades, but they're things I want to read, so um, I'm not going to trade those. Um, would you be interested in like they're more like I think I guess they are trade paperbacks. Miss So, do you read Paper Girls? Because I have a whole I think it's like a 4 or 5 book edition of the entire Paper Girls run, um, which I've started, but I haven't finished. I don't know why. And I've been meaning to finish it. Yeah, it starts out really good, and hence I'm still reading it, but it's good. But I started reading it because of the TV show. I know the TV show got canceled, so I mean I'm still intending to read it, whether the TV show was good or not. But that was kind of disappointing. It's like there was all this like excitement around Paper Girls, and then for whatever reasons, I love Ali Wong too. I should have. I think the reason I didn't watch Paper Girls was because by that time we had canceled our Netflix subscription. But had we had the Netflix subscription, I probably would have watched it and enjoyed it. Um, Assuming they stayed, somewhat true to the comics. But yeah, I love Ali Wong. One of the funniest people ever. Um, I would love to go to one of her live shows. They just sell out. Like, I know she came to Seattle like a couple times in the last couple of years and was never able to get a ticket. All right, this one is out of my collecting era. I don't collect Bronze Age, but I do collect John Romita. And this is just a great John Romita cover right there. Giant Size Spider-Man and Master of Kung Fu. And this was, I had been meaning to add more John Romita to the collection. It's just one of those things that are the books we wanted to add by Romita were big books. They're big boy books. And so it's kind of like, we'll pick them up when we pick them up, right? And then he passed away, and this summer as we were picking up books, I was just more focused on picking up his books than I normally would be. And I think every Romita book we've run across in our search, as we, when we dig through long boxes, if we come across his book, we pick it up and we set it aside. So I was fortunate to pick up a lot of Romita Senior artwork. They're not necessarily the big books, although this one, I think the grade is what prevents this from being sort of a higher valued book. There's a lot of some kind of staining. I think we could probably, this would be a great book to like send to Roger to clean, because I think he could really get out all that, by washing it or filtering. I think it's just staining, some kind of stain. I'm sure it can be washed. So yeah, that was a nice pickup. Here's another example. Let's just show off some of the Romita Senior stuff. You already saw the Spidey Super Stories. We've got this great Kingpin cover here. How amazing is that? Now, to own the original Spider-Man of this would be, not that it'd still be like close to $100, right? And depending on the grade, right? But let's say we got like a higher mid grade book, we're probably looking at $50 to $60 for the book, right? But this Marvel Tales cost me $1, and that's what I'm saying. Like, at the end of the day, obviously we want the original, but if we can't have it, this is the next best thing. You get the great artwork there. You can open it up, read the story. This is a Bronze Age reprint. So just, yeah, not everything has to. This is a Copper Age reprint. Has a great Marvel 25th anniversary there. Only thing is, so this came out around the time of the whole 25th anniversary covers. But what's cool is Okay, so it's a Copper Age reprint. What's cool is like you get this nice border and you get the collector's item classics. So plus it's a newsstand. So, this is gonna be $1 bin book. I don't know. Maybe it could sell for higher. I guess because this first Kingpin is blowing up right now. And I do want that first Kingpin, but it's a lot of money. I'm not going to pick it up right now. I'm going to probably pick it up when it's dipped down a little bit. But I mean, it's a big book, so no guarantees that that will happen. But this is the next best thing. All right. Some amazing Romita Senior artwork there. We're going to continue on. I just love this book. I love this book. Silver Age. Curt Swan. World's Finest. Batman, Superman. And you just get this, about as textbook comic book, Silver Age comic book sort of formula as you can model. Got this great explanation. Please don't tell your friends the secret of the executioner. So it's got this great sort of setup text box, and then you got the dialogue or the thought bubbles. I must destroy this list before Batman can decipher it in his Batcave. And then you got Batman saying the same thing. We must burn this list before Superman can decode it in his Fortress of Solitude. It's just setting up, but it'll probably be a really fun story. But again, I would love to get a higher grade copy of this book. It's just I just love these kinds of images so much. But for now, this low grade book will just have to do. The Ultimate Bromance, yes. So it's one of those things like it never gets old, right? They're just kind of married at the hip. I mean, we're closing in on 100 years of Superman, and soon after that it'll be 100 years of Batman, and these two just even to this day they're kind of like Starsky and Hutch, Laurel and Hardy, like they're just Batman, Superman. They're just a duo. That'll continue on as long as these characters are around, which is kind of cool. So, again, I probably might get into doing that. Might get into just collecting World's Finest, right? Stuff I like. All right, this next one is a signed book we got for 50 cents, which is ridiculous, right? That's like someone wasn't paying attention to their inventory, and we don't mind. We got Mark Teixeira signed with Sabretooth #1. Mark Teixeira was a very talented artist, and it's funny. Like I don't see him doing much these days, and I don't know what the reasoning behind that is. I'm sure a lot of people would love to see him continue to work in the industry. Or I don't know, maybe he is still working in the industry. I just haven't been following it all that much. But definitely during this period, he's doing a lot of just really cool stuff for like Ghost Rider, Sabretooth. He was doing stuff for like X-Men as well. I mean, not directly for X-Men, but like periodically, right, for X-Men as well. Just a super talented guy. I think it's just, again, I'd love to see more of him. All right. These can actually qualify as, so these next series of books, they can actually qualify as like my top pickups of 2024. Because they're that significant. I just know they won't. Even if I do like a 50 list, it'll probably exclude these ones. But that doesn't mean they're any less significant. First off, I know I covered these books in a previous video, and also on social media, but for those of you who didn't catch that or are catching this on the rewind, I want to stress how big of a pickup this was and how ridiculously cheap we got it for. Okay, so I have 12 issues here. 12 issues. You got Batman Year One for the whole series. You got Batman Year Two, the whole series. We got Batman Year Three, the whole series. Batman Year Two. Batman Year Two happens to be ridiculously high grade. It's just super clean. Like I am like tempted to slab this whole set just to see what we get. Because I think if they don't come back 9/8, they'll definitely be in like the 9/6 range. Again, half price books just really egg me up. So I know I mentioned it before, but we got 3 years of Batman. Okay, 12 issues. 3 years of Batman. For under $18. I think we paid $17. We paid $17 and something cents. Mind you, this number one issue alone is $20. Okay, number one issue alone is $20. To get 12 issues, I mean, every book in this run is over $20. So to get this 3 years, and again, all decent grade, some of them newsstands, to get 3 years of Batman for approximately $17 is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And so I think in terms of like just value from a haul, that epitomizes, a good pickup. Yeah. Other things we picked up that we feel really good about that probably aren't going to make the year-end list is this really ratty copy. It's got like a spine split. The cover is about to fall off. It's just barely hanging on to the staples. Is ASM 337. Eric Larson goodness. Again, this was right in my collecting, during a collecting period. iconic cover, another iconic cover. This is our signed copy. I ended up getting this one for, I think, what, I want to say $7, $8 or $7. Ethan really hit me up. So got those. Another big book that we got from Summer, from Grit City, is this signed trade paperback. Jim Starlin signed first edition trade paperback of A Death in the Family for $4. This feels like a big one as well. Only because I just absolutely love this. Well, I didn't love it because it didn't turn out the way I wanted. I voted to keep Robin alive, but the fans voted to kill him off. And this is a really, I mean, what was I? I was probably like middle school when it came out. It, like this and like The Killing Joke, the stuff coming out in terms of Batman at the time was really mature and dark. This is like Death in the Family is the Batman run. It's not even a graphic novel. It's like the Batman run. And it was super violent. You know, he's like he's beating on Jason Todd with a crowbar. And I just remember thinking, like, man, this shouldn't be in a kid's comic book, but enjoying it at the same time. But yeah, again, if you were reading Batman during this, if you were lucky to be reading Batman, actually, I guess every era of Batman's gonna have good stuff, but I feel like this late '80s run of Batman, along with year 1, year 2, year 3, all those issues are just classic. So to have picked all this up for like roughly $20 is a bit insane, a bit crazy. All right, we're not done yet. We got a couple more books left. I guess we'll go with. Oh, excuse me. I guess we'll go with Action Comics 346. Nothing really special about this book. I just love this era of like Superman and Supergirl. I know the DCU is going to focus on Superman Legacy is going to focus on Superman and the central characters, but I do hope at some point they have bandwidth to bring in Kara and do it right, like do it kind of legitimate. It doesn't have to be exact carbon copy of the Silver Age origin, because it is kind of cheesy, her origin story, but something derived from that original source. So like her family escapes as well, and they tell as they die, they send her to go find Kal-El, and they reunite on Earth. Something along those lines, I think, can work in a progressive movie narrative. Like you can do a couple movies and then set up her own standalone. But it's going to take time, and I'm sure it's just she's just so valuable to the lore of Superman as well. So, um, yeah, just a beautiful Supergirl cover. All right, next book we've got two books by an artist I really like. One is his first cover art, and it's King Conan, Marc Silvestri's first cover in comic books. Kind of crazy. Got this for $1 too. That's insane. Nuts. I got this one also for $1. This is there were like two variants when this She Sideblade came out back in the 90s. I had the ugly one by Stanley Tucci. I just shouldn't say it's ugly, but I had the sort of the lesser desirable Stanley Tucci cover, and then this is the one that I probably should have had. I have it now, and that's the Marc Silvestri cover. Beautiful, beautiful cover. So that was just cool. All right, last book. Copper Age reprint of a Bronze Age Grail. I mean, it is a Grail book. I had an opportunity to actually pick this book up as well this summer. The guy wanted 1,100 for the book, and I was like this close to like, but what prevented me from getting the book was the grade. It was essentially it was a higher end low grade book, but it was low grade, and for that grade, it should have been under 1,000 in my opinion. So I basically told the guy, hey, look, I do want that book, and I do think it's I think it has value, but what you're asking for the book is something I'm not willing to pay. I could pick it up for like, I think I threw out an offer of like 800 or so, 850, something like that. And he thought he could sell it for his price, so we didn't come to agreement. But the book was his book was the actual Giant Size X-Men #1. I had to be content with picking up essentially like a $3 reprint of Marvel Milestone Edition. And to be honest, like this, especially this Marvel Milestone Edition, I want to just collect this entire series of Marvel Milestone because I have a bunch of them already, and why not collect all the classic key books from this Copper Age reprint? That would save us a lot of heartache and time and money to do it that way. So I think I just convinced myself to do it. All right. Yeah, I'm sorry, Miss O. If you're a Stanley Tucci fan, my apologies to all the Stanley Tucci fans, but his cover was ugly. And some of the interior work is ugly as well. All right, so that does it for us. Thanks for hanging out again, as always. And I think, again, it's going to be a busy couple of weeks for us coming up. Hopefully I can do a couple more weekend videos. But if I don't see you, I will definitely have a video ready at the end of the year to go over the real 50 top pickups. These are just runner-ups, I guess. But the true showcase of the top 50 books we picked up this year will be, again, later this month, toward the end of the month. So be sure to check that out. In the meantime, if I don't see you, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy New Year. It's already that time of year. But yeah, wishing you all the best and a safe holiday. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out. Peace out, comic fan. Bye-bye.